A lot of people have been asking me, Owen, can you do over-the-board puzzles on chess.com with the Chessnut Pro? Yes, you can. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how. So right in front of me here, I have the Chessnut Pro board, and I'm going to do a full puzzle rush on chess.com. I don't do puzzles quite often. My highest score is 37 for the unlimited time puzzle rush, but we're going to see, can I beat 37 today? Let's jump into puzzle number 1. Hitting play now. And you can see in front of me, all of the red lights have popped up for where the pieces need to be. So I'm going to just set up the pieces here. Now, just so you know, I had a bit of trouble with connecting this with just the browser version. But if you use the Chessnut app, it's called the new Chessnut. You're able to just connect with Bluetooth on that app. And you can download the web app. You can download the app on your phone if you want to connect with your phone. And if you use that, it works pretty seamlessly. But if you just use the web version and connect to your computer with a USB cord or Bluetooth, if you have Bluetooth on your computer, then you will have a wee bit of trouble because it doesn't register the moves correctly. I think it is really cool that if you do misplace a piece, so I'm going to take this rook off and I'm going to put a knight here. The red light still shows up. It recognizes that this is a rook and that this is a knight. And so when you put the correct piece where it's supposed to be, the light goes away. Also, the bishop is on the light square here and the red light's showing because it's not placed. And the bishop was originally here in the puzzle. And so we know that this was the move that black made. And now the red lights go away. We're up to date with what the new Chessnut app is telling us. So I'm ready to play this puzzle and see if I can get to 37 or even a new record 38. Let's see what we can do today. All right, captures, checks, threats. What am I looking at? Doing these kinds of puzzles is so different when it's over the board. It's very quick for me to see that there's a hanging bishop when I'm looking at the computer screen. But yeah, over the board is very different. No, is there a better move? I don't want to mess up on puzzle 1. No, I think I'm going to just take the bishop because it's with check. And if the queen blocks, the queen blocks. And I'm already up a few pawns, so let's capture the bishop. That was correct. And you can see everything now has completely changed. I'm going to put all the pieces over here, but there's red lights everywhere. And I'm going to just do this first setup with you, and then I'm going to do it. I'll cut it out of the footage because you don't want to see me setting up constantly in this video. But just so you can see how quick it is to set up, I don't think it's crazy difficult. So I'll just set these pieces up here. And the red lights all start disappearing, and that's kind of addictive. It's kind of a bit addictive seeing them all just disappear. I kind of like it. Okay, this one's not here. This one's not here. And there's a rook here. And what am I missing here? It says there's a rook and a pawn. Boom, we are ready to go. The knight has just jumped. I can see that on the computer. The knight just jumped here, or the computer's telling me white to move, so I don't really need to know where it happened. But often in these puzzles, when you start them, the tactic happens from the previous move. So we know that the knight jumped here. Oh, look, it's not defended, so I'll probably just take this. I'm going to capture this knight. Now we are ready to go again. Okay, this one looks like it is a sort of starting position. Okay, it's my move. This rook is hanging. I'm going to take it. Happy days. All right, we've passed 3 puzzles. I'm going to edit out the setting up and we'll just go through this puzzle rush. All right, white to move, and it is a smothered mate. The knight can capture the rook and it checkmates the king. All right, next position is set up, white to move. And I suppose one drawback of doing this is like I do have to look at the computer or the app on my phone to see what the chess.com position is to set it up. So you do have to look at the computer and see, you know, how to get that position. But once you've done that, then you can just sit down and look at the board, look at the position, and then use your over the board skills looking at the physical pieces. So when I am setting it up, I'm not really thinking too much about the position at all. I'm just seeing where are the pieces going. Let me get rid of those red lights. And now I'm ready to go. And I can see there is a back rank. Now, we've come to a puzzle where I'm playing the black pieces. And one thing that you can do on the Chessnut app or on chess.com is instead of having a swivel table, if you have a swivel table, you can turn your board around very quickly. Then you can play from black's perspective. But there is just a little option cogwheel here. And you can just scroll down. And white always on the bottom is an option here. And I'm just going to select that and click it on. I'm going to hit save. And now I'm playing black's perspective, but I don't have to switch the entire board around, which could be annoying if you don't want to have to constantly be swapping a board around. Now, I will say in a puzzle book, when you are looking at a puzzle book, often the puzzle book will say, oh, you're playing with the black pieces, but the puzzle book shows it from white's perspective. So this is like a puzzle book, but if you really do want to play from black's perspective in here, you'll need to just actually physically flip the board around. But I'm going to just play everything from white's perspective, even if I'm playing the black pieces. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, it's black's move. And there is clearly a back rank here. These first puzzles are quite easy, and you can see white has captured. And now I'm going to recapture. And we got the checkmate. All right, we're on to puzzle 6. Black to move again in this position. It looks like my rook is in danger, so I'd want to move it. But a puzzle is generally not that simple. There's probably something better. I'm looking and I see the queen can take the h2 pawn. All right, puzzle 7. They're getting slightly harder. It is black's move. And I see a check here. King's forced over to B2 or B1. And then there's a checkmate. And the king responds. There it is. Nice. Puzzle number 8. Black to move again. And I see there's a check here, and that looks like checkmate. So I'm going to move the queen over. Nice. Puzzle number 9. Black to move. And we have a check here, and this looks like mate. These puzzles are very easy to start with, but they will become more and more difficult the more you go through them. I always just like to clear the board, and then I just like to set the pieces up. Just keeps everything very simple. But yeah, I think this is a great way. Honestly, it's such a great way to just practice your over-the-board tactics. It's not something you typically get to do. And you can see how quick that was for me to set up. I didn't edit that out. But here it's white to move. There's a opposition here. And when you have opposition on a back rank, you can throw in a checkmate with the rook. So that was pretty simple. Puzzle number 11. White to move. Okay, we have a check here. We got a rook covering, and the pawn covers there. That is a mate. Now, a lot of these puzzles are just mates in one, so it's like I set it up and it's already over. But if you do get to the harder puzzles, or if you just want to train harder puzzles on the Chessnut board, you can set up, you know, just your regular puzzles, not like a puzzle rush. But the thing about puzzle rush is they always start very easy, and so it's it always takes a bit of time. All right, so it is black to move. It looks like we have a check here and then mate here if the king goes here. Do we have anything else? Is there any way for them to block? I don't see. The queen's blocked in, the bishop's blocked in, so this is the move. And then the king would have moved and we would have come in for the mate. Puzzle 13, black to move. Doesn't look like there's any checks on this one. We can't capture the queen because we're pinned. And puzzles are starting to get a wee bit trickier. We can capture a free pawn here, but then it's checkmate. So if we don't have a check, let me just adjust this. If we don't have a check, then we're going to be mated in one. So we have to either defend the mate or throw in a check. And I actually see the tactic here. We're going to capture this rook with the queen. And then when he recaptures, the pawn is unpinned. So we can now capture the queen. Very nice. That was a fun puzzle. Okay, white to move in this one. We have a check here with the queen. King moves over. We are on a rating of 800 now, so this is getting a wee bit trickier. Check, king moves to f8. And then we check with the pawn. King moves to e7. We get a queen. Rook takes queen. Queen takes rook. It's not super forcing. Rook wouldn't take queen. Queen would take the knight here, because this is a checkmate threat here, and the pawn's covering. So we have to find a checkmate, I believe. Otherwise, we're cooked. Instead of taking with queen, do we just take with pawn? Pawn takes. If king moves over, then we can check here, and the queen covers e7. I think that's what it is. And if the king, if the king goes here, then we check here, and the rook covers the pawn. We have to capture. Oh no. I can't believe I messed that up. I really should have taken more time. Oh, I'm a bit depressed about that. I'm going to go in and check after to see where we went wrong. I played the incorrect check here, thinking king goes here, and then a queen checkmate. But that did not work, because the king could go to h8. But then I thought, in this position, surely we have check here, forgetting there was a knight that could just eat my queen. So this was all just really bad. The real continuation was queen takes h7 here. And why did I not see this move? I mean, that's very simple. I suppose the same reason my opponent didn't see checkmate in one on c1. I'm actually so bad at chess. Ugh, I'm so bad. All right, puzzle 14. White to move. Oh, that's depressing. Well, this is a really simple one. We just capture here. Better be a capture here. Okay, good. All right, white to move. Puzzle 15. Well, we can't take here because the knight takes. We can't take here because the knight takes, but we can checkmate here. Black to move. We can check here. And queen has to take, we take, and he takes. And then check here, and we win the rook. Is there something more forcing? Maybe there is, but I'm going to go for it. Okay. We're going to capture. Thankfully, we were correct. Happy days. All right. Puzzle 17. We're over 1,000. And it is black to move. Well, the king can move in. And remember, black is going this way. King can move in. And we can capture the pawn that he can't protect. So the king moves here. Oh, he can protect because it's his pawn. Oops. Why am I struggling here? I'm not looking at a computer. We can start promoting this pawn. And we can just hold this one. That's probably the way to go. Let's do that. We're going to capture. He captures, but our pawn is first. Yeah, boy. Because I have a really big brain. And here's my queen. And I wasn't going to promote to a rook there, don't worry, or a knight. But yeah, nice. Now you might say, oh, and what if you get to a puzzle where there's 6 queens on the board and you don't have the pieces? Well, I've never actually seen that on chess.com. Generally, the puzzles on chess.com, they use just the regular pieces. Sometimes there's 2 queens, but you have 2 queens. I've never seen a puzzle with 3 queens, if I'm being completely honest. But if that were the case, or you have to promote to a knight and you already have 2 knights or something like that, then you could just play the puzzle on your phone or on the computer and then go to the next one over the board. But that is, I don't think I've ever seen it. It's very, very rare. All right, white to move and win. Okay, well, it's bishop takes, check, rook has to take, queen takes, mate. Yeah. Happy days. All right, white to move. I'm really liking the look of this move, knight g6, because it sets up this and it sets up this, but I think there's a check here and king over. Yeah, king over, and this is mate. Nice. All right, black to move here. Well, we have a check here, and this is going to be mate if the king moves. So check here, queen has to block, or bishop has to block. So let's say check here, bishop blocks. It's going to be a bit tricky, isn't it? Check. Oh, wait. Check. If bishop blocks, we take here, which is mate. Because the bishop can't recapture because it'll be pinned. If queen blocks, then we just win the queen. Nice. Oh, we didn't get that right. I just realized I got a red X for that one. The second puzzle we missed was this position. And white took the bishop here. And we played queen check on g5. And the reason this doesn't work is because bishop takes g5. And why did I not even consider that? There was literally just a bishop sitting here. I didn't even see this. I mean, it's just bad. But the correct move was rook captures on d1, and this leads to a forced mate. So bishop f1 to block, and then knight e5. I don't think we would have to continue this puzzle. It probably would have stopped us here, but I'll just go through the sequence real quick. A bishop f4, rook takes a1, knight e4, and then knight takes c4. Just getting all the pieces. Bishop c1, blocking the rook. Queen takes e4, and this is setting up the mate here. Bishop takes h3, rook takes c1, bishop f1, queen g4, and finally king h1, and this is a mate. So there was a big mating sequence there that I doubt we would have had to go through. You probably just have to find the first move for that kind of puzzle. It was only rated about 1200, but yeah, rook capture was the move. Here it is black to move and win. Well, I don't know if winning, probably winning. Okay, so if I check here, king here, knight here. Well, the position's not set up. I just took the pawn off because I realized it was here. I see the rook check, king here, knight fork. This better be right. Okay. Puzzle 21. I can only make one more mistake and then I'm cooked. And the fact that I messed up on like 1200 puzzles is just, it's really not good. Dude, this puzzle is crazy. There's a bishop like hanging out on the other side and the king is in the middle of the board. This is going to be a wild one. If you don't have the puzzle set up correctly, like let's say there's a piece missing and you try to make the move like it's black's turn to move, it just won't let you. It'll only let you start the puzzle once all the positions are completely ready to go. It's very, very good with that. Okay. Black to move. Is there a checkmate here? The bishop comes here. The knight's defending. The bishop cuts off the back. The knight cuts off this square. Bishop cuts off here. Pawn cuts off here. That's a beautiful checkmate. Wow. Puzzle 22. White to move. I can take the pawn on h7, rook takes, and that just looks terrible, but we don't have a mate threat against us that I'm worried about. What if just bishop takes the pawn, and then that sets up rook d8 check? We could also just take the knight. If we take the knight, pawn takes, we win the rook. There's always one reason a puzzle is going to work or not. So I think this removes the defender of the knight. So this is a very common puzzle idea. Remove the defender. When they recapture, we win the rook. So if we remove the defender, they're not going to recapture because they have to defend the rook. So if we remove the defender, the rook's going to move. But it is just a free piece. So maybe we just take it. But is there a forced mate here? There might be. Bishop takes h7. I'm really nervous now because I've already got two reds. And I need to win here. Oh, bishop takes h7, rook takes. I can't checkmate or check because the queen's holding d8. So that's my bad. I didn't even look at that queen. Okay, I think I'm going to take the knight. I'm sorry. It looks like a free piece. Yeah, boy. Puzzle 23. Another very weird puzzle. 3 pawns in a row there. But it's white to move. And it looks like we are down a whole rook and a knight. Which is a bit scary. But we can just promote and get a queen here. If we get the queen, he's forced here. And then queen here is mate. I'm sorry, I see a forced mate in 1. If chess.com wants to tell me that there's something better than a forced mate in 1, then they can go take a hike. I'm sorry, a forced mate in 2. Yeah, they can go take a hike. All right, black to move here. Well, I see an immediate check here because this pawn is pinned. But he can take with this pawn, so that doesn't work. What about just sacking the rook, and if king takes, rook check, yeah, and then we take on here. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm gonna capture the rook. King takes, rook check, bishop blocks, and rook takes, mate. Nice. Puzzle 25. Okay, white to move. I really like bishop takes h7. If queen takes, then knight c3. Rook can block though. Queen can't block, but rook can block because queen is pinned. I don't think that works. This puzzle's rated 1497, so it is getting trickier, or maybe it's slightly higher. I'm not entirely sure. What about just bishop c3? He has to take the bishop and we take with rook. No, if he takes the bishop, it's checkmate. So bishop c3, pawn f6. Bishop takes f6. Yeah, this is the move. Yeah. And now that he takes, it's checkmate. Let's go. That was a 15-14 rated puzzle. And now we're up to puzzle 26. Only 11 more to get my all-time peak. There is something so rewarding about winning these puzzles. I don't know. White to move in this one. There's a free bishop. We should just take the free piece. No, we shouldn't. If we take the free piece, we're probably losing. That's the problem. You never know. What about check here with the knight? Check. If we check with the knight, the queen covers these squares, the knight covers this one, so king is forced here. So knight's here, queen is forced here, and then we have a check here with the queen. And the queen is forced to block, and then we take queen. That's it. Let me slow down. Queen here. He has no other moves other than block and win. Yeah. That free piece. I was not going to take that bishop. This puzzle looks very convoluted. There's only one pawn missing from each side. And it is black to move here. The queen is in danger. So if I was playing black, I'd probably move my queen. We can take the bishop. If the knight takes, we'd win the queen. And then if knight takes, we win this bishop. So rook takes. Wait. Queen takes. You gotta capture the queen. And if they capture the queen, we gotta capture their queen. Now we've got a hanging bishop. Queen takes. They take. We take. They have a knight here, and we have a bishop here. That only is equality, isn't it? Not even. No, it is. That would just mean we win their bishop and queen, and they win our bishop and queen when they recapture. But why is this a puzzle? There's got to be something here. Queen takes bishop. Knight takes bishop. Knight takes queen. Bishop takes queen here. What if they capture our bishop? And then I'm not seeing it, lads. I am not seeing it. This puzzle's really hard. Instead of taking the bishop, what if we take the knight first? If we take the knight first, we remove the defender of the bishop. So we take the knight. Ah, that's what it is. We take the knight. They take the queen. We take the queen here. And because we capture first, we win a piece. Yes, so they take our queen. And then we take here. I was taking in the wrong order. And then we win this piece here. Oh wait, they can take our knight? I didn't think about that. So knight takes, then rook takes, and it's even. I was thinking bishop takes because our knight defends, but now the bishop's there. Bishop takes bishop. If knight takes bishop, we're fine. But if bishop takes, pawn takes and rook defends. Ah, nice. Oh, this is a long puzzle. They triple our pawns. But that was a crazy puzzle. Puzzle 29, let's go. Oh, we are going to do this. I don't think we are. We're probably going to fail very soon here. You know me. I like to blunder. I don't like it. Look, lads, this one is one with 2 queens, and we have 2 queens. The Chessnut Pro gives you 2 queens when you buy one. If you want to get a Chessnut Pro, lads, link in the description to the video. Buy one, saves you money if you buy with my code, saves me money because I get a discount or part of the, and it gives me a wee bit of money because the money you save, some of it goes to me. Black to move here. Puzzle 29. Can we get to 30? I hope so. Okay, I want to take the pawn because this is a discovered check. That definitely... Oh, but we're in check. They've checked. They got 2 queens on us. Oh. Bishop here blocks the check, but also gives the check. So we gain the initiative. That's a beautiful move. And now we capture. King here and mate. That was cool. That was a cool puzzle. All right, black to move. This is puzzle number 30. And we're up to over 17. It's around 1700, this reading. So it's starting to get tricky. Starting to get very tricky. Black to move. I'm looking for checks. It's always good to look for checks first. So we have a check here. They can just develop. Doesn't seem good. Okay, what about this queen? It seems very offsides, doesn't it? So immediately I would think bishop g7, but then they just take the knight. The king gets away. And then is the queen stuck? Don't think it is. Yeah. Even if it didn't, though, bishop g7, queen could come to h7. Our queen's also in danger. So they can capture our queen. I didn't even see that. What if we take on g2? Forking the rook and the knight. And we're still defending our knight. I think this is a very good candidate move. Are there any other moves? Candidate move. It looks like a good option. Capturing here, getting out of the danger. Do they have any checks? I don't think they do. Lads, I'm going to take this pawn and I might regret it. Come on. Seriously. Oh, that's so annoying. That's actually so annoying. I only got to 29. Oh, that's so bad. 1737. We lost an 860 puzzle, 1202. 1737. Average time per puzzle, 3 minutes. Yeah, because it took me forever to set up the pieces. And the final puzzle that we messed up was this one. And our opponents played knight f3, tempoing our queen. And here there was a mate in 3. I didn't see this check here. Queen c1 check. The king only can go to e2. And then bishop e6 check. The king doesn't have any moves. The pawn has to come here. And then bishop takes c4, checkmate. I just didn't see this move. I don't know why I didn't see. You know, it's just a simple check that leads to it. I mean, it's very easy to spot. I was looking at like trying to trying to get this queen here. Like, what about this? And then here, and then here. And I was like, oh, and what's going on? Maybe check here and win the queen, but it's not our move. So I don't know. Anyway, lads, I do hope you enjoyed that video. And if you do want to get a Chestnut Pro board, I mean, it's quite expensive, but it's really a lot of fun. I really like this thing. Code Blunderman in the description of the video. See you all tomorrow.